The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
Hi everybody, look at this doll.
Itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again.
This ugly, creepy looking doll from China is being sold on the black market for $150,000 or 1.2 crore rupees. This is the Labubu doll.
A human-sized Labubu figure has just sold for $150,000 US.
Chinese retailer PopMart drops a new Labubu designer toy.
We're just 15 minutes after the mall opened, the Labubu's sold out.
It's the newest internet craze and can be resold online for 10 or even 20 times its retail price. And every other celebrity is now flashing it on their Instagram.
The dolls, which are usually listed for $22, are now in some cases fetching hundreds of dollars on resale sites.
And you know what's the fascinating part? It's not just this one product. Every few years, the world loses its mind over something just stupidly simple. And if you see history, this exact same hype was used to make unreal money with Prime, Stanley Cup, even Liquid Death, which practically sold water in a can.
The must-have accessory of the season.
Like Beanie Babies, Trader Joe's totes, and Stanley Cups.
I got a Stanley!
People going absolutely crazy.
Oh my god.
Prime in its first year of launch made $250 million in revenue. Stanley Cup made $750 million in FY23. And Liquid Death made $333 million just by selling water in a can. And all these products have the exact same strategy and pattern. They all are stupidly simple products. They all are unrealistically costly in the black market. But even then, somehow, people are crazy for these products, and all of these products make billions of dollars in profits.
Product is the huge hype around it has very, very little to do with the product itself.
Stanley projected $750 million in 2023.
Liquid Death, what started as a joke, has evolved into a company with a $1.4 billion valuation.
Cheers.
So the question is, what exactly is so special about this creepy, ugly-looking doll that today it is selling for crores in the black market? How do brands like Prime and Stanley Cup use the flywheel of hype marketing to build billion-dollar brands in a flash? And most importantly, what can we learn from this madness of hype marketing? Don't blink, because by the end of this video, you will never fall for hype marketing at all. Or maybe you will use hype marketing to make your own $1 million business. Before we move on, let me introduce our education partner, Outskill. You know, most people think AI is just ChatGPT, but that's only 10% of what's possible. If you want to grow faster in your career or business, you need to learn how to use AI the right way. And if you want to learn it, you should join this 2-day live AI training. It's worth 10,000 rupees, but for you, it is completely free. And this is because of Outskill. The training happens this Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's 16 hours of practical learning. There's also an intro call this Friday at 7 p.m. And in this training, you will get to learn how to use 20 plus AI tools, how to use prompt engineering to get the best output from AI, how to build apps without code, and how to create AI-generated images and videos. Along with that, you'll also learn the process of building advanced AI agents and how to automate your tasks for maximum efficiency. And the best part is that this program is for everyone, whether you are in tech, sales, marketing, HR, operations, or even running your own business. Professionals from 120 plus countries have already joined this program, and their feedback has been outstanding. And I would highly recommend you to join this if you want to become an AI generalist. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment and do join the WhatsApp group after filling the form to get all the latest updates. And remember guys, there's an introductory call happening on Friday at 7 p.m. So please don't miss it. If this is clear, let's move on to our episode. In today's consumer economy, the Labubu doll is more than just a cute collectible. It's the perfect real-world demonstration of the psychological power of hype marketing. And if you ever wondered how an obscure, creepy toy could spark stampedes in malls, inspire midnight queues, and resell for thousands of dollars on auction sites, the answer isn't just the doll itself. It's the flywheel of hype marketing. And this flywheel isn't new at all. It's the same playbook used for Prime energy drinks in 2022 and even the Stanley Cup in 2024. So the question is, why does this keep happening again and again? Because if you see, the pattern never changes, only the product does. Well, the answer is hidden in this flywheel. The first step of this flywheel is the spark. Every hype story begins with a single spark, something that turns a normal product into a magnet for curiosity. But this spark is never an expensive ad. It's an earned moment that makes people ask, what is that product and why do people want it? In case of Labubu, in April 2024, a K-pop star named Lisa posted a photo hugging a Labubu doll, and instantly millions of her fans noticed, and that one organic moment made the doll cool overnight. No marketing, no billboard, and no ads. Just a normal Instagram post. Similarly, in 2023, the Stanley Cup tumbler had its spark when a TikTok user filmed the interior of her burnt car, and she found that only one thing was left intact. This one thing was her Stanley Cup. Not only that, it still had the ice inside. And when she uploaded this on TikTok, it went viral, and soon enough, this content racked up 94 million views. And as soon as this became a sensation, suddenly the Stanley Cup became a viral symbol of durability. So obviously everyone started buying it. Similarly, Prime's spark was none other than Logan Paul and KSI. Two YouTube rivals were coming together with 40 million subscribers and turned a simple sports drink into an overnight sensation.
We have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
Green energy, who wants green?
The official sports drink of the UFC. It's
Brand new product, Prime Energy.
So if you think about this marketing sensation, kids did not care about electrolytes. They cared about their hero's drink. So the first step of the hype flywheel says that if you want hype, you need one clear spark that makes people talk and ask questions. And that one spark is almost never a big fat marketing campaign. It's usually an organic post that starts the movement. But the spark alone can't help you generate hype, which is why the next step is more crucial. Step number 2 is social amplification. So once the spark is lit, you have to give people a reason to carry your story forward. Not big ads, not expensive billboards. You need people to spread the word. Look at Labubu. These dolls come in blind boxes, so you obviously don't know which Labubu you'll get until you open it. And this small mystery turned every purchase into an experience worth sharing. This is the reason why fans all across the world started recording unboxing videos. In fact, I saw Tanmay Bhatt say something about why before and after reels go viral.
From the beginning of the video, there was a promise that something cool is going to happen in the end, and this is what makes retention go up really high.
Because people wait for the result out of curiosity. This is the reason why transition reels do so well, because you want to see what this person is transitioning into. This is also the reason why food reels do so well, because you want to see what that pizza is going to look like. Similarly, when TikTokers were unboxing their Labubu, it came with a proposition to show which Labubu will actually turn up. So creators from all around the world started making similar videos like showing off their collection and speaking about their favorite doll, because it got them insane engagement.
Let's open Labubus.
Oh my god. I got my Labubus, they're all Labubus.
It's sold out.
Insufficient stock. Already?
These fuzzy little monster dolls are taking over TikTok, with celebrities even stepping out sporting them as adorable accessories.
This is how by June 2025, TikTok alone had more than 1.9 million clips of people engaging with Labubu products through unboxing or some of the other means. That's hundreds of millions of views contributing to the sensation without a single marketing dollar spent. Or at least not a single official marketing dollar spent, because we don't know how much of this was sponsored marketing. And the same thing happened with Prime. Teenagers did not just drink Prime, they showed it off with content. And you know, a lot of these kids even saved empty bottles on their shelf just to decorate their rooms. So Prime wasn't just a drink, it was a badge to show off to their friends. And the same thing happened with Stanley cups. Women did not just drink from it, they made content around it. The size was so ridiculous that it became a novelty on TikTok. So Stanley wasn't just a tumbler, it became a collectible and a flex to show off online. So the second takeaway is that hype stays alive when you have a product that is remarkable, a product that can help people produce content around it. So you should not just make a good product, you must make a content-worthy product. And then comes step number 3, which is scarcity and FOMO. You see, hype only works when people feel like they might miss out on it. Take Labubu. Pop Mart doesn't make unlimited dolls. They drop them in small batches, and like we saw, most dolls come in blind boxes, so you don't even know which one you'll get. This created such a buzz that fans started lining up at stores overnight, and the shop started selling out in minutes. And this got people talking even more. In case of Prime, when Prime first launched, you couldn't just go to a retail store and grab a bottle anytime. You had to wait for the drop to happen. And this created such a huge buzz that kids woke up at sunrise to line up at stores. Some stores put up signs saying limit to 1 bottle per customer. And even after that, the bottles still got sold out. This is the power of scarcity. When people know they can't have it easily, they will do anything to get it. And then comes step number 4, which is the secondary craze. Every time there is scarcity of something hyped, a resale market emerges. That's when your hype goes from big to crazy. For example, Labubu dolls just cost $30, but in the resale market, they cost hundreds of dollars. In fact, it was unbelievable for me to read that one rare Labubu even sold for $150,000 at auction. So do you realize hype plus scarcity results into a resale market, and the resale market sales generate headlines all across the country, which again contribute to the hype. And sometimes these headlines go all across the world. And the exact same story played out with Prime. Kids did not just drink it, they flipped it. For example, one Prime bottle officially cost $2, but on eBay's resale market, it sold for $10,000. In fact, in the UK, kids sold bottles to other kids at school for 5 to 10 times the price. Similarly, Stanley cups were flipped from $45 in stores to $300 to even $1,000. So do you see, a simple water bottle became a collector's goldmine. So the takeaway for step number 4 is that if you build smart scarcity, you don't just make money once, you create a story that people talk about for free. And that will increase your sales further. And that story keeps your hype alive long after the shelves go empty. Step number 5 is what we call the cultural lock-in. You see, Labubu did not just stop at blind boxes. Pop Mart launched pop-ups in fancy stores and partnered with popular IPs for special editions like Harry Potter, DC, Minions, and even launched Labubu-themed accessories and lifestyle products. This ranged from keychains to bags to even collectible charms. So Pop Mart turned Labubu into a lifestyle icon and did not just restrict its position to a toy. Similarly, Prime did not just stop at being an energy drink, because Logan Paul and KSI signed up huge sponsorships with UFC, WWE, and even soccer teams. So Prime logos showed up in the ring, in the octagon, and even on players' jerseys. So very soon, Prime wasn't just a drink, it became a cultural sensation. Similarly, even Stanley started partnering with celebrities like Post Malone and even sports icons like Lionel Messi. So the takeaway for step number 5 is that if you want your hype to last, you have to expand it beyond the product. Make it a part of everybody's everyday life. And when you put all 5 steps together, the spark, the sharing, the scarcity, the resale buzz, and the culture lock-in, you don't just sell something, you create something that people chase. That is the flywheel behind Prime, Labubu, and the Stanley Cup. So this sounds so fancy, right? Which means every brand must use this flywheel to generate millions and billions of dollars, isn't it? Well, this is where you need to understand the difference between building a hype and building a solid business. Because while it's exciting to see the millions and billions around the hype, it is also important to understand the dark side of hype marketing. If you look at the longevity of the hype marketed products, you will see something strange. Take Prime Energy as an example. When Logan Paul and KSI launched Prime in 2022, kids in the UK lined up at dawn, bottles resold for up to £100 each, and black market resellers made news headlines. This hype helped Prime hit over $250 million in first year sales. But what happened next? By late 2023, shelves were overstocked. Reports showed that UK sales dropped by nearly 70% year on year, US sales fell 40% in the first half of 2024, and the hype bubble popped. Eventually, the sales started crashing because the brand did not have a habit built in. Now, mind you, hype has practically made Prime mainstream. So it's not like they failed, it's just that the hype faded away. And whatever Logan and KSI have done as creators is something absolutely unbelievable. So if you want to normalize your brand with one great year, that's amazing. But if you expect the same sales to happen for the next 10 years, it's unrealistic. So what you have to keep in mind is you can start with the hype, but you can't maintain the hype forever unless your product becomes a habit for your consumers. Similarly, fidget spinners were even faster. In 2017, fidget spinner sales hit over $500 million worldwide. But by 2018, they were gone. Once every kid had one, but after the novelty died, there was no reason to buy a fidget spinner again. So the question remains, what should you do? How do we scale without the brand falling apart? We could find a beautiful example with Air Jordan. You see, everybody knows that Nike invented the modern drop culture with the Jordan brand, which was based on the legendary basketball player Michael Jordan.
Just last week in Queens, New York, more than 200 people lined up to pay $200 for a shoe, the Nike Air Jordan.
Here's Jordan down the middle all the way.
Much of that success was thanks to Jordan's incredible play on the court.
Come on!
But there was also Nike's marketing approach, which was groundbreaking in its own right.
Shoe! It's gotta be a shoe! It's shoe!
The first Air Jordan 1 sold in 1985 for $65. But by 2022, the Jordan brand made $5.1 billion in annual sales. And even today, 40 years later, Air Jordan is very, very relevant. So the question is, how did Nike sustain the hype? Well, it has to do with something called the social identity theory. Social identity theory, or SIT, is a foundational concept in psychology and sociology developed by Henry Tajfel and John Turner in 1979. At its core, SIT explains that people don't just build their sense of self in isolation, they build it through the groups that they belong to. According to SIT, each person's identity has two parts. Personal identity, which says who you are as an individual, your personality, your experience, your values. And there is social identity, which says who you are in relation to the groups that you belong to, as in your family, nationality, sports team, religion, fandoms or subculture. When people adopt this social identity, they adopt symbols, rituals and behaviors of that group. And this creates a sense of belonging and status within that tribe. For example, a fan wearing an Air Jordan isn't just wearing a shoe, they're signaling that I belong to this group that knows the culture, the history, the code behind the shoe. This same dynamic explains why fans chant at football stadiums, why people wear band t-shirts, and why a Harley Davidson rider sees their bike as a badge of tribe loyalty. When Nike built the Air Jordan brand, it did not just sell sneakers, it sold a membership to that tribe. Michael Jordan's success gave the American black community an icon whose story was bigger than basketball and the hip-hop culture. In fact, beyond a certain point, the hip-hop culture amplified Jordans as a symbol of swagger and rebellion. So Jordans aren't just shoes, they are social currencies. But if you look at short-lived hype products like fidget spinner or NFTs or the clear hype that we made a case study on, all of them went viral fast. All of them looked like sensations. But they faded because they never really offered a group identity that could outlive the novelty. Fidget spinners exploded on YouTube and playgrounds, but they did not represent any deeper story. You couldn't signal who you were with a fidget spinner. There was no tribe to belong to. These products lived off dopamine novelty, as in they spiked interest, but there was no lasting social identity. But if you look at Air Jordan's hype lasts because it combines social identity theory with three psychological triggers. Firstly, it has the cultural myth of Michael Jordan's legacy, and it will last for the next 20 years at least. Secondly, the limited drops create exclusivity, which keeps the tribe engaged and the status real. And lastly, the shoe is a loud, visible signal that when you wear Jordans, you are broadcasting a membership to a bigger culture. This is the reason why real streetwear, sports brands or iconic luxury brands survive the test of time and the gimmicks usually die off. So will Labubu also fade off as yet another hype? Well, I am almost certain about it. But in the end, Labubu, fidget spinners and all these hype waves remind us of something very, very important. It's easy to grab people's attention for a moment, but it's much harder to earn a place in their life forever. And the most legendary brands don't just sell products, they give people a story to believe in, a tribe to belong to, and a reason to come back. Hype usually fades away, but meaning always stays. Some people do make billions and take a fancy exit, and there is nothing wrong with it. But if you want your business to last, don't just chase trends. Build something that people want to carry with them because it says who they are. Because when the spark dies off, only the story keeps the fire alive. That's all from my side for today, guys. We've also attached a lot of study materials in the description. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube ever happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.